Well, additional thoughts on 3800 Degrees by Youngboy, Never Broke Again. It took me a little longer to get to this one. I don't think this will be the best additional thoughts, but there you go. Really, I only listened to this album, I think, in total 4 times, including the reaction. What do I say? I don't even know where to begin. I got a couple notes. Overall, I enjoyed the album. I enjoy Youngboy. What he does vocally, I find very entertaining, engaging, interesting. I like listening to him. I feel like when I try to make these analogies between rapping and guitar solos and stuff like that, I feel like Youngboy represents that analogy the best. Like he's just out there shredding with his voice, essentially. Handle One is probably my favorite track. I love what he's doing with the vocals on that one specifically. Like he's almost to a point where he's screaming into the microphone. And I like that. I like that verbal versatility, essentially. And then, of course, it's based off of the 400 Degrees album by, oh God, I didn't write down the artist. Juvenile, I believe. A lot of people have said it's a Southern classic, and I gotta check that one out. I did put it on my list. It's on the list. I tried to kind of like get it somewhat high up there, but there's so many albums on there. But it would be cool to check out. It would be cool to kind of go back and hear some of the other Southern sounds, because I don't remember where Juvenile is from. Not Atlanta, right? Not Atlanta. But, you know, I've heard a lot of the Outkast music. What was the other one? Oh, Rodeo, I suppose. But that's kind of a trap. Anyway, I'm all over the place right now because I want to get into what I talked about on the reaction itself about, okay, vocal performance, rhyming scheme, energy, lyrics, story, and all that. Because really with this album, I kind of posed the question, the opinion in the reaction about, there are probably plenty of people who say, yeah, Youngboy's a good rapper in terms of the vocal performance, but he's not saying anything, and therefore he's no good, and that's why I don't listen to him, and blah, blah, blah. And I've had this idea kind of rolling around in my brain for the last 10 days or so, which is why I haven't done this video until now, because I didn't really know where I felt with that. And I was listening to Stankonia that week, and this week I did 1999 by Joey Badass, which was fucking fantastic. I really enjoyed that one. And I kind of knew, okay, look, lyrics are important to me. No surprise there, right? But so is vocal performance. But it kind of spills into the argument that you see in the metal world a lot of when people are debating drummers and who's the best drummer and what do you have to be the best drummer, and how much complexity exists in your beats and how big's your drum kit. Like, it starts to get to a point where I think listeners and fans, when we're debating these things, what's the most important aspect of the song, we kind of lose sight of the fact that, well, how good is the song? What is the song doing? What's the song trying to do? What's it supposed to do? And what are all these elements into it? How well are they serving that song? Because to me, that's always the most important part of any rapper, musician, whatever. Are you serving the purpose of the song? So with 3800 Degrees, if I ever want to listen to somebody who's just spitting into the mic, and that's it, yeah, this is the album I want to hear, because that's what Youngboy's doing. And he's doing it very well, extremely well. However, for me personally, on a broader scale, and this is not a knock against Youngboy or the album or anything like that, just in terms of my own interest, what I want to hear, what engages me the most, I need a little bit more lyrical content to chew into. Now, of course, that is its own debate, right? Like, what are people supposed to rap about, But then I can also take another element of Youngboy, and again, he's got tons of music I haven't heard, and people have said there's other albums that he has done where he's a lot more versatile in what he's doing, not just spitting into the mic, fucking just crushing the mic the whole time, which is good. In AI 2, he did that, and I really enjoyed the versatility he had on that album. But some of the most powerful songs, even though I enjoy good vocal strength and power and sound and all that other stuff, some of the best songs are where almost the quietest voice. You know, it really carries that feel of the song, the intention of the song. One of my favorite guitar strums is there's a song called Smother by the band Daughter, and they have this live performance at this radio station, and it's so quiet and it's perfect. It's perfect. Her voice is like this haunting ghost hanging over the top of this really cold, light strum. It's incredible. And so it takes everything I said about rapping and sound and power and all that stuff, and it kind of takes it and just tosses it all up in the air. And this sounds just disjointed because really what I'm doing is I'm rolling through my own thought process right now in real time in front of you guys. I mean, I've thought about it, but going back to the initial point, what makes a good rapper? I mean, you got to have some kind of rhyming scheme in there, right? Otherwise, that doesn't work. You got to have some kind of vocal presence that serves the purpose of the song. Otherwise, that doesn't work. One of the things I noticed with the Buog back when I was doing that was I'd get these songs, production's good, lyrics are good, vocals are flat. Just flat, boring. I don't believe you. Whatever it is that you're saying is irrelevant because you don't sound like you believe yourself. That was something I noticed very often with those Buog tracks that people would send in. Lyrically, you know, everyone's going to enjoy certain aspects, certain types of content in terms of lyrics, either stories or, you know, painting a picture or whatever. And so to kind of try and tie all this up, you know, I'm kind of on an old man rant right now, right? Just telling stories with no end. An album like this, 3800 Degrees, where it's pure rapping, that's the bringer to you, right? Yes, it's cool in the sense of it'll scratch that itch for me, but for me, it'll only scratch that one itch. And so with an album like this, even though I enjoyed it, it's fun to listen to. It's a quick way to, especially like on your commute. Oh, fuck, man. There's a couple times I put it on my drive. I was like, okay, yeah, this is helping. Now I'm not so grumpy about going to work this morning because he's just fucking going off. And that's great. But like in the reaction, how I said, you know, sometimes with these heavy metal albums, I only listen to 20, 25 minutes. I won't listen to the whole run or whatever. That's kind of how this one is too. But with it being shorter, it works. So I think all that to say, just rapping isn't enough. And, you know, I haven't analyzed all the debates that people have had about rhyming schemes and lyrics and rapping and what makes the best rapper, but lots of different categories to touch on. And I think I have found myself pretty comfortably in the position of I need more lyrical content. I do need more lyrical content. And something I do have a note on here to kind of close this album. One thing I feel like with this is it feels like Youngboy went into the booth to just purge out all of these emotions. Because it seems like what he is rapping about on this album is very personal. In terms of just what's going on in his head, it feels like he's got these chaotic thoughts and he's just spewing them out into the microphone rather than acting on them, which in my opinion is great. It's a healthy way to process these feelings. And so from that angle, I really appreciate this album. I like that he's doing that because it feels that way. I feel like I'm listening to somebody just purge frustration, anger, disappointment, whatever, all these feelings, just fucking dump it all out. And I hope, I can imagine that when he went in and did all that and then came out of the booth, okay, I'm good now. I'm good. So there you go. Not really an album review. I don't even remember half of what I just said. That's another fun thing about getting old and rambling forever. You just go, what was I talking about? Great experience, though. It kind of helped me confront a debate that I kind of like to avoid. I don't really care for the debates on who's better and what's better and why, because it doesn't matter. I like it. If I don't, who cares? Move on. But yeah, good rapping. I need some lyrics. Rhyming schemes are important. So on. Nothing groundbreaking there, right? Okay, there you go. Take care, y'all. We'll see you soon.